Today, January 12th, 2026, Anthem has been shut down forever. This news deeply saddens me. I remember in 2019 saving my money to pre-order this game. It looked like a dream come true, and I even bought the special glow-in-the-dark steelbook. I always wanted to go back and platinum this game too, even through the grind, but unfortunately, I no longer have the chance. Some of you might not know this game. Many of you might know it for its slow run times, its bugs, and everything it did wrong. But some of you can see through it, and cherish the potential it had, and what it did that was so great, and what it could have been. I just want to take a moment to appreciate this game in all its glory. Whether you bought it digitally or physically, you just can't play it anymore. No game deserves this treatment, so it's time to take one last look at Anthem. Now, what was Anthem? Anthem was seen by the world as possibly the most ambitious and definitive multiplayer experience, and its E3 trailers shocked everyone. It's now seen as the largest commercial live service failure in our lifetime. At first, this led EA to announce that they would remake the game from the ground up under the name of Anthem Next. But in 2021, they decided to cut losses and move on, leaving the game gone. Honestly, it would have been so much easier to just fix the game. Dead games are dead for a reason, and there are many reasons in Anthem, but I decided to put all of my other projects aside for this final week to appreciate and enjoy what made Anthem so good for the last time. So, from the beginning, you get to play as a mercenary freelancer who uses a robot suit called a javelin. There are a few different javelin styles which offer unique abilities and cosmetics. The rendered cutscenes are beautiful. The art team of Anthem was imaginative and put their hearts into their work. The best aspect of this game is its art direction. In the story, the conflicts that you're thrown into has a lot of futuristic sci-fi elements that seem like this could be the start of an awesome story. They did build a compelling style of game with a unique setting, unique time, and a lot of unique elements, mixed with the possibilities of a 7-year-old's mind when they imagine what an Iron Man suit would actually feel like. What it would be like in an open world that resembles Avatar and Horizon Zero Dawn, filled with big bosses and looting quests. It seems like the most amazing game ever, and that's what they wanted us to see this game as, and honestly, that's what we did see this game as, until it released. After the prologue and in your first mission, you take the full control of your javelin. You fade into the game slowly, and you are stunned in a gorgeous world inside of this jungle area in the corner of the world, mixed in the majestic nature. The world is lovely, and as you soar into the skies, you can take in the breathtaking, cohesive world. It makes you go, wow, this is going to be epic. The flying feels excellent, it feels smooth, the game looks beautiful, and the open world gives you a sense of infinite exploration, with various species of animals and creatures living amongst their own habitats in this serene world. But also the underworld. Diving underwater gives you a whole new layer to explore, with realistic caverns filled with even more unique creatures, objects to find, lore drops, and resources for crafting. Anthem has so much more than what people give it credit for. As much as I hate people who focus on gameplay only and ignore the artistic designs, the artistic choices into creating such an immersive world, the gameplay faults cannot be overlooked. There is a reason this game died in the first place. The gameplay drops off very fast. The pretty window dressing doesn't carry the game far. Shiny graphics can only get you so far. The best games in our generation don't skip on story, they don't skip on emotional characters, they don't skip on motivation to complete the game. They don't skip on anything. The story of Anthem is its own issue. It's a series of events which are just simple, generic, stereotypical, and predictable. And they don't seem that well fused together either. And this is coming from BioWare, who are known for their excellent emotional storytelling. The story doesn't take advantage of its open world, and it flies by fast in around 10 to 14 hours. It's a disappointing foundation with no sense of memorability. The missions are repetitive and not fleshed out. They have no original sense of story when comparing them to the free play or stronghold quests. It's all the same structure under a different name. There isn't much in the story that makes it feel different from any other mode present in the game. You can't even remember very much about the character you actually play as, never mind any of the characters that push the story forward. All the quests of the game come from the home base of Fort Tarsis. It has empty eyes of various NPCs who don't have very much interesting things to say, just a lot to say. And the side characters are just a series of boring characters who push the story forward with boring quests. It's amateur story development. BioWare doesn't give this game's story enough time to breathe to allow these characters to develop a strong sense of self, which is crazy to think, considering a lot of the game's story is actually padded to create the illusion of length. Some missions can last 40 minutes long, which sounds great, but when they're all the exact same, what's the point? Simply put, the story isn't memorable enough to give justice to this amazing world and bring out what makes the game shine. Some could argue that you could excuse the need for deep storytelling or character development, since the core focus is that it's a looter shooter. It's about the gameplay, it's about getting better items, leveling up, fighting bosses. The main focus is gameplay. But when the game doesn't have very many great features, when the narrative fronts are shallow and gives disrespect to those who did put their hearts into the material they made, what's the point? A lot of gamers today might disagree, but the impact that storytelling has on a game shouldn't be overlooked, even if that game is about playing with your friends. But I want to do something a little different. Anthem is ending, and I want to focus on a few things on why it was good. Its best elements. Every game is someone's favourite, and we need to see that. The more we focus on its faults, the more we hate it. So, for the rest of this video, we will only be remembering Anthem's best moments to end its legacy in a good manner. One thing right away, immediately when you boot up the game, you're immediately thrown into who you are. You see each of the 4 characters prepare for an expedition in their suits. And these suits are incredible. There's 4 different classes that all have various looks, various abilities, customization, and they all feel different, they move different, they act different. Now, I did mention a lot of the faults about the gameplay, but on its own, the gameplay was actually fun. It had a fairly deep and extremely smooth mechanics, and I do mean extremely smooth. They were very satisfying to play as, with huge ability customization and stats. The weapon play was very fun, the guns just popped so well on all of the difficulties, and mixed all together, it creates an immense experience. Just take a look and appreciate how fun this actually looks while I dub over some epic music. The world is rich. It's filled with lore and collectibles that expand the world building, and it deepens it tenfold, somewhat making up for what the story fails to express. Amongst the world there's minerals and items that go toward crafting that gives the customization an extra layer of depth. If you keep your eyes peeled whilst on expeditions, you can find minerals and ores for crafting and character customization, and a lot of cosmetics you can also buy for in-game currency and purchase currency. There's weapon crafting, ability crafting, and general cosmetic customization, with a lot of layers of colour combinations and material designs, changing the way light can reflect on your javelin, but more specifically, changing the way light can reflect on certain colours of your javelin. Honestly, I think that's a nice touch. Completing expeditions and taking down strongholds can actually be fun. The sheer amount of enemies do keep things going. It may be repetitive, but playing with others is what brings this game alive. It was made as a multiplayer experience after all. If it's a bit boring, just pop it on hard mode and chill with your friends. Flying around the beautiful world can be taxing on your javelin, and it can overheat, shutting your systems down. Especially in hotter environments, it can rapidly increase this process. But in cooler environments, like being around streams of water, being around waterfalls, or being underwater, the cold temperatures actually slow down the overheating process and sometimes even cool it down entirely without resting. It's the small details of Anthem that helps provide a great realistic experience. And we can't go on without aura farming. In this game's beauty, there is infinite chances to aura farm, and if you go AFK for a little while, you get a cool cinematic zoom of your javelin as if you're watching a movie. It's perfect when you're fighting enemies, the way the camera shifts to the side. When you're flying, the way you can move your javelin around without actually switching the camera around, moving it to wherever you want to, makes it more cinematic. It feels like you're watching a movie, but you're actually playing it. The game's villains aren't anything to rave about, however they do still have that evil sense of menace, and they do look awesome too. Everything about Anthem is visually incredible and aesthetically pleasing. This is showed perfectly when you deploy on an expedition. The character suits up like your Iron Man. Ultimately, the craziest part about Anthem was that they delivered a game that actually played and looked identical to the E3 trailer, which is almost unheard of. It shocked us all, and it took a 15-year-old me by storm. Unfortunately, due to the lack of polish, the poor optimization, and somewhat lackluster story and repetitive content was what killed the community and spread the game's attention thin. It had the perfect bones for an ultimate multiplayer experience, even for offline mode, but they never even gave it an offline mode. If EA just put time and money into Anthem rather than pivoting financially over to their other series like Assassin's Creed, they could have saved themselves a lot of headache, a lot of backlash, and probably make more money. Anthem was an idea that people truly loved, something that could have been iconic in video game history. Live service games need live service. It needs bug fixes, it needs good optimization, it needs care, it needs attention to just keep running. And very early on, when EA decided to pull their attention away, nothing was fixed, it lost its player base, and EA was confused and panicking why this was happening. They shot themselves in the foot, and I'm deeply saddened that this is the result. So it pains me to say it, but goodbye Anthem.